What was supposed to be a serious meeting turned into an opportunity for the two to connect privately. To have more interactions with Kim, Jimmy went against his own wishes and accepted the generous invitation from DM Law Firm, as the company's benefits were excellent and his expected income was quite promising. He even started discussing topics like buying a house and getting married with Kim, as they both dreamed of a bright future together. Just then, Jimmy suddenly remembered he had to go to the nail salon to pick up the luxury car the company had sent him. Hearing this, Xiaojin couldn't help but feel jealous, but she was still happy for Jimmy and gave him a beautifully wrapped gift, a cup with the words, "World's Second Best Lawyer" printed on it. This cup will also become an important emotional prop for Jimmy and Xiaojin. After bidding farewell to the 18-car tire that had accompanied him for many years, Suzuki Jimmy replaced it with a brand new Mercedes-Benz provided by the company. The customers of the nail salon were salivating at Jimmy's luxury car, and the lady boss at the door couldn't stand it. "Just tell them to go back and have a look." Jimmy looked very proud and even gave her a hug to say goodbye. However, the lady boss did not give her face. Then Jimmy came to the car and saw the luxurious interior. She was so happy. However, when she opened the sunroof, she probably remembered the dark history of her Chicago sunroof, and then closed it. But the only thing that made her dissatisfied was that the cup holder of the car could not hold the cup that Xiaojin gave her. "It won't be too late, let's go to work first." When he arrived at DM Law Firm, he reported his work progress to his boss Clifford, and said that he found that the information submitted by the confidential defense lawyer showed that the unfair subsidy plan was voluntarily chosen by the clients. But according to Jimmy's statistics, all clients chose this one, which looks more like a mandatory condition. Jimmy said that he could refute the other party from this point, but he needed some facts to prove it. The boss agreed with Jimmy's idea, and urged him to start following up on the case as soon as possible. Since the sensitive case was large, it was a partnership between DM Law Firm and HHM Law Firm, allowing Jimmy and Kim to sit together in meetings. As the main player in the case, Jimmy reported on the recent progress during the meeting. Just then, a logistics staff member suddenly walked in with a storage box. Jimmy had a bad feeling about it and reported the situation to Howard. Then Howard interrupted Jimmy's speech and asked everyone to put all their electronic devices in the box. It was clear that Chuck was going to attend the meeting because Howard had visited Chuck beforehand and informed him about Jimmy's work at DM Law Firm. Since the two firms were collaborating on the sensitive case, the clients only wanted to deal with Jimmy, which is why Clifford brought him on board. Chuck forced a smile and admitted that Jimmy was indeed skilled at handling relationships, but he was puzzled as to why Clifford didn't care about Jimmy's work and educational background anymore. Howard stated that he objectively shared Jimmy's background with Clifford, but Clifford didn't care about that, and even offered Jimmy a partnership. To distance himself from having helped Jimmy, Howard mentioned that Kim had put in a lot of effort regarding this matter, and he did this to protect the interests of his firm and avoid a fallout with partner Chuck. His secret recommendation of Jimmy to join DM Law Firm was also to expedite the sensitive case and bring profits to the firm. Hearing this, Chuck, who had initially been in the mood to play the piano, now stared at the metronome, deep in thought. He decided to step in, ostensibly to observe the progress of the case. Actually, he wanted to suppress Jimmy's limelight. Sure enough, Chuck's arrival completely disrupted Jimmy's thoughts while he was speaking. Chuck looked as if he wanted to see Jimmy make a fool of himself. Xiaojin also saw Jimmy's concerns, so he pressed Jimmy's thigh to encourage him. With Xiaojin's encouragement, Jimmy adjusted his state instantly, reported his recent work simply and clearly, and finally made everyone laugh with humor. After the meeting, Chuck took the initiative to greet Jimmy. Since the last time the two brothers broke up, it was the first time the two of them spoke. Jimmy asked Chuck why he was there. Chuck proudly replied that his name was on the building, as if to assert his ownership. After Howard left, Jimmy pressed on, asking Chuck what he was really doing there. Chuck said he wanted to witness something firsthand. The usually witty Jimmy found himself at a loss for words, and just then, Jimmy's phone rang, interrupting their awkward conversation. It was Mike calling, because the trouble with Price was still unresolved. The police were keeping an eye on this ordinary citizen with a big hummer, and to help Price, Jimmy needed to protect himself. Mike asks Jimmy for help. Jimmy accompanies Price to the police station for investigation. Faced with the police's questioning, Price hesitated to answer, fearing that the police would catch him. Price said that he had hired a private detective to retrieve the baseball card, and now the case can be closed so that the police can do other things. But the police refused to give up because they found a hidden hole under Price's sofa. Therefore, he firmly believed that there must be something wrong with this guy. Jimmy, who saw the situation clearly, decisively let Price go, and negotiated with the police as Price's personal legal advisor. He got straight to the point and said, "Aren't you so kind to help them because you found the hiding place of my client?" Jimmy admitted that it was normal for the police to suspect him, but he guaranteed that Price did not do anything illegal. Hearing this, the police had to come clean and said that he had not done anything illegal. So why was he sweating? At this time, Jimmy began to direct and act himself. He first said very obscurely that Price used the hole to hide some private artworks. The police wondered, what kind of artworks need to be hidden so secretly? Jimmy said that it was a deal between Price and a rich man. He provided private videos to the other person, and the other person also funded him. Later, the two had a disagreement, and the result was that his videos and baseball cards were taken away. His videos and baseball cards were like lovers who quarreled and reconciled. The police thought they were pornographic movies, but Jimmy denied it. He said that it was at most a fetish video. There was no illegal content, and the people in the video were fully dressed. Hearing this, the police were even more puzzled. and asked what exactly he had done. Jimmy had to reluctantly say that the person involved called it squatting. This confused the two policemen, and this was the first time for them. I heard that Jimmy further explained it in detail. In short, it sounded like the kind of behavior that normal people would find difficult to accept. The police never expected that this seemingly honest guy would do such a thing. After getting the job done, Price admired Jimmy's magical powers, but for safety reasons. Jimmy needed Price to cooperate with him to shoot some videos of squatting pies to deal with the police inspection. In the evening, Jimmy held a few boxes of cakes to share with Xiaojin, and shared with Xiaojin the process of defending Price today. The two talked and laughed, and halfway through the meal, they realized that these cakes were the props used by Price to make pies. Seeing Xiaojin stopped, Jimmy hurriedly explained that these were extra props for shooting videos, and guaranteed that they had not been squatted. But he misunderstood Xiaojin's meaning. Xiaojin was worried because Jimmy forged evidence. When caught fabricating evidence, you could lose your job. Jimmy insisted it was pro bono, not a case. Kim, more intense, asked why. Jimmy said he was just helping a friend, implying strong friendship worth the risk. He refused to explain, claiming it was over in secret. Kim warned he was playing with fire. It would eventually hurt him. These risks were Jimmy's forte. Kim warned him not to repeat. Jimmy hesitated, saw Kim's serious look, reluctantly agreed, but wondered if he'd listen. It will eventually come back to hurt him. But these kinds of risks are exactly what clever Jimmy is best at. Kim warned Jimmy not to do this again in the future. Hearing this, Jimmy hesitated. Seeing Kim's serious expression, he reluctantly agreed, wondering if he would actually listen to her.